I have no idea if this is working. Nobody cares. I know. I'm just talking to myself because, honestly, I don't think I've talked to any human beings lately. Or when I do, it's a mess. Now, look. We've been over this. There's a Godzilla movie on. I leave the TV on in the background. I had it on channel 10, regular NBC, and it was not coming in, what's his name? Shazam was doing his, whatchamacallit, Who Do You Think You Are, whatever that is, and I couldn't hear it because it wasn't coming in. So I put it on a different channel just to have noise in the background. I would have liked to watch that, but, so anyways. Yeah. Alright, let me just tell you what just happened, because today I got some stuff done. Again, I've said about being in another world, or I don't want to say Twilight Zone, because when I say Twilight Zone, people who don't really watch the show don't even know that it's really the fourth dimension or whatever. That is just kooky stuff. I don't want to talk about kooky stuff. I'm talking about a non-real reality that doesn't make any freaking sense. So, it keeps getting more drastic, this crazy world that I'm in, that I don't know if you're in it too. This is when people talk about timelines and all kinds of weird shit. I don't, look, that crap may or may not be true. I don't know. All I know is I watch a lot of videos. I feel like I have a little bit of claircognizance. I've always been into more mystical things. We used to call it New Age stuff, you know, astrology and all of that. Let me... Well, it's like one Godzilla movie's over. I wasn't watching it. I think it was Mecha Godzilla. I don't know. Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla, yeah. So that's Comet. Comet's a good channel. I can't really pay attention to things anymore. So, here's what just happened. I went to Walgreens, right? Now, if you do these club type things where you sign up and you give them your email or phone number, whatever, and then you go and you get the discount when you punch in your phone number, you know that some of these places, they have rewards or whatever. So every once in a while, I end up with $1, you know, in rewards, and I'll buy something with it. So I was under the impression that I had $2 in rewards, Walgreens rewards, whatever you call it. So I walked down there. Now, I have not been walking anywhere. So I've been either staying home or trying to scrounge up money to take the bus because it's been so freaking hot. So, but today I went out in the morning and I was like, it wasn't that bad. So I had the idea maybe I should go down and get something. I wasn't sure. Then my intuition, which I've been trying to follow because nothing else has worked, and I'm really trying to depend on it because the people in this world, I don't trust anybody at all anymore, and I don't have enough to protect myself in terms of security, in terms of money or anything. There's no money in the bank and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to navigate whatever the hell this strange planet I'm on is, and keep myself as safe as possible, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, I go down to Walgreens. I'm going to use the $2. I'm going to buy, I looked online first. I'm going to buy peroxide and a toilet paper. This is what I decide. And it's going to come over a little bit over $2, and then I'll just pay what's over, because that's how you do it. Because you can't pay, the way it works, say you've got $1 or $2 or whatever, you got to buy something that's over whatever that is, and then you pay the difference. So say you bought, I don't know, a pack of gum, and it was $1 with tax, so it came out to $1.09. You could buy that and pay the 9 cents if you have $1. Or, but say you wanted to buy something that was 75 cents and you have $1, you can't do it because it's not over. Anyway, so I've known this because I've done this a bunch of times. So I'm like, okay, I looked to see if they had peroxide. It said it was $1.19, and I said, all right, so I think I have $2, so I'll just get a roll of toilet paper, which is supposed to be like 79 cents. That'll bounce me over $2. I'll use the $2. I'll come home. Then I'm walking down there, and I'm like, what if you walk all the way down there? Because my knees are killing me, but I'm like trying to walk because I feel like the less I walk, the worse it gets. You know? So I'm like, let me go down there. And so I said, well, what? Halfway down there, I'm like, what if you get there and they don't have any? I'm like, well, if they don't have what they're supposed to have, and they have milk, I'll get milk instead. Right? Because milk will be like 2 something. So I'll pay the difference, right? Okay. So I get down there. Just like I suspected, they had no, and they didn't have a single roll of toilet paper, and they didn't have the peroxide, even though according to the website it was in stock. Whatever. So I'm like, alright, see, this is why you had to have the backup plan to get milk. So like, what if they don't have milk? Go, there's milk. So I'm like, okay, good. So I get the milk, I go to the front, punch in the number and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, I wanted, the kid's like, okay, $2.79. I'm like, I wanted to use my bucks. He's, oh, you don't have any. And I'm like, really? Because I was under the impression that I had $2. Can I pay the $2.79 for this milk? I'm gonna need to have milk eventually. Should I? No. But I'm saying to myself, okay, here's the thing. I know I've got $2 on this Walgreens Bucks thing. The whole reason I came down here was to use it on something else. Then I had the backup plan in my head that, oh no, maybe I should, what if they don't have it? I'll get this instead. I'm trying to do my plan B. This kid is telling me, I'm like, I freaking know I have this. And this, I'm already like, okay, now I have to hate this kid. Right? And this is what my life is like right now. So, I always entertain the idea that I'm wrong. And that's one of the main reasons that I think my life is shit. Because I will defer to people. I will always, just trying to be a good person in life, I would always be like, well, I could be wrong. And this is, the rest of the world is so confident and arrogant and full of themselves that they don't do that. So I always end up with the fuzzy end of the lollipop because I'm trying to be a decent person saying, well, I could be wrong. Even though, you know, I just, years ago, not now, but years ago, I didn't think people would lie for the hell of it, or lie because they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I never understood how allergic other humans are to the phrase, I don't know. Because if people were just willing to say, I don't know, and this is how you can tell stupid people who are actually stupid, they never say, I don't know. Because secretly they're afraid that they're stupid. So they play off like they're not, and they just make shit up. And that makes them stupid. The kids in class who never raise their hand, they're going to be stupid for their whole life. Because they're never going to find out the real answers or the real information. Because they're just going to be worried about looking stupid. And that's going to cause them to actually be stupid. So the kids say, oh no, you don't have any on your account. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, alright then. I don't want this milk. Now I walked down there for nothing. I ended up walking down there for nothing and walking home. Everything hurts. I'm like, and now I'm pissed off at my intuition and the universe because why did it tell me to go down there for nothing, to walk, waste my time, get my knees all bent out of shape again, just so now I can hate this kid, not trust my intuition, be upset that I wasted my time, you know. And I'm like, I'm gonna walk. I'm the whole way here. I'm like, I'm gonna get in the house. I'm gonna check the stupid website and see what it says. Right? So I get in here. I'm pissed off. My knees hurt. Everything's wrong. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check the Walgreens thing. I try to log in. It won't let me log in. Oh, that's not available right now. I have said for this whole pandemic, the thing that's been really frustrating me, really making me want to punch somebody in the face, is the false information, lack of information. People, you call somewhere, they tell you to call somewhere else. The difficulty in finding out what should be an easy answer in this world. For the last 2 years, it's been a fucking nightmare. I know my skin's bad. That's why I was going to get the peroxide. Because I'm like, I'm sick of this. My skin's never been like this. Not this bad. Consistently, because every once in a while I would break out and then it would get better, but it's not. So I tried to make the homemade scrub. I think that made it worse. Like a coffee scrub. I used the instructions they said in the thing. If I put suntan lotion or anything like that or anything else, it just makes it worse. So this is why. So I know I look bad, and I'm sorry if anybody has to look at me. But I was putting on the makeup before. In the old days, what used to happen was when I did get zits or stuff like that, when I put on the CoverGirl, because I always use CoverGirl because I'm cheap and I knew it matched my skin, it would make my skin better somehow. It would like take all the crap. And you know, a few days after I did wear makeup for whatever reason, it would look better. Now that's not happening. Now it's making it worse. So I don't know. So nothing is working. Putting on makeup is making my skin worse. That's why I'm looking like this. Even though, you know, anyway, I'll put it on if I have to go in public and stuff like that. Not in public, but, you know, like the other day I went to this stupid meeting for no reason. And, so I put it on because I didn't want to frighten people who had to look at me in real life, who didn't know me, or, you know what I mean? So, now I'm here and I'm like, I'm looking on the Walgreens website. Can't log in. So I'm like, we're going to do the live chat. Live chat. Or you're person number 16 in line. Then I explain, I tell the live chat thing, okay, now you're person number 18 in line. I'm like, fuck this shit. You know what I mean? But I go and I check my email. I'm like, okay, I can't remember which email had my Walgreens thing. I check it. What's the last email I got? Friday, I got an email from Walgreens telling me I had $2.07. I'm like, see? I mean, in the moment, I knew the kid was lying to me. Or didn't know what he was doing. And didn't feel like calling the manager. And just expected me to pay for it. Because that's how younger people are. They don't want to be harassed. They don't want... So they just figure, oh, we'll just pay for it. So what? You know what I mean? I fucking hate that whole generation and their bullshit. Just being like, what? So I just looked at him like, yeah, no, forget it. I don't want it. He's like, you don't want to try another number? I'm like, why would I try another number? I'm like, no, it's okay. Bye. This is what pisses me off, because had there been, this happened to me 2 weeks ago. I went down there. Like I said, I wanted to buy something. It was Sunday morning. I went Sunday morning because it's been so hot. Because I walk. Okay? I want to go either early in the morning or almost nighttime. This way here, it's not the heat of the day. Right? So I went Sunday morning a couple weeks ago, and I was going to buy stuff that was on sale. 2 different things that were on sale. I go up to the front desk. It doesn't ring up on sale. And I'm like, okay, again, I checked the website. I checked the weekly ad before I went down there. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. I know it should ring up. So there's just a person, again, a person who's, I don't even know if it was the same kid. It was another kid, though. It was another new person. Now, I go to this Walgreens all the time. It's like all the way down the street from my house. It takes me a while to walk there because it's a hill. So it's hard to walk up if I'm carrying stuff. It's a steep hill. And, you know, back in the day when I was younger, it'd take me half an hour to go and come back. Now it takes me an hour. So I went, again, it was new people. And it was a new manager. These were not the people I'm used to seeing. So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, all right. Well, forget it then. I'll just put the stuff back. Because I'm not going to sit there. It's like they're trying to just not... You have a job. You know, just do it. Don't be lazy or whatever. And be like, I don't feel like whatever, calling the manager over. I don't feel like doing this and that. So, I'm like, because it didn't ring up. In this case, it didn't ring up. So, I just took the stuff and I'm like, I'll put it back. God forbid, right? Anybody should have to do that. So, I'm putting the stuff back. And I see the manager putting the stickers on the, on some other stuff. Like near the cold pills and whatnot. So I said, yeah, I was trying to buy this stuff, and I checked the website at home. I checked the weekly ad at home before I left, and I thought it was supposed to be on sale. I was like, is it different from in different stores or something? Are there different sales at different stores? And he literally acted like he didn't know, right? Like I said, new manager. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And I went home. You know I was going back to that same Walgreens because it changes on Sunday. So Sunday is the new ad. That's when the new sales are supposed to be, right? You know, I went there either the next day or the day later. Wasn't the sticker right where I had gotten the stuff from? It wasn't it the sale that it was supposed to be? So apparently, maybe the sale price doesn't go into the computer until the manager puts all the stickers on. I don't know. Whatever. But I was just like, yeah, see, if I hadn't said anything, oh, my hair's all weird. The part's funny and I look strange than normal. But it's like, this is what I've been going through. This is why I get so fed up, because, again, my situation is that I do not have a job. I haven't had a job in a very long time. But I've off and on looked for one. I've been looking for one this whole time. I've been trying for about a year to get help getting a job. I've been going to this thing that's supposed to be some kind of help. Now they're acting like it's not help. And I'm like, would you fucking kidding me? Like, it's no different than just going down to a normal career center, when I was under the impression that it was. Otherwise, I wouldn't have wasted my time on it. And this is why, so when I come with my viewpoints on government and I say this and that, I'm coming from experience. I'm 48 years old. This is not my first day. I would not speak about things. I would not have strong opinions if I didn't have reasons. Okay? So when I'm calling a place, I need information. I pick up the phone. I dial a number. They don't answer. I get the person on the phone. They have no information for me. Either they just sit there and collect a check every week and they're just a stupid person who answers the phone, or they send me on a wild goose chase to come back to them eventually, or they don't know what the hell they're talking about, so they're one of these people who can't say I don't know and makes it up. But for the last year or so, I've been trying to get not handouts, not anything like that. I've been trying to find, most of the time I'm trying to find out information so I can figure out something for myself. And it's really like 99% of the time now, when I call somebody or I'm put in contact with somebody or I go to somewhere for information, either it's a dead end or I get bad information. Or the person who has the job doesn't want to do the job, is incompetent, shouldn't be working around the public sector, just makes up shit and hangs up the phone. I've been screwed over many times just trying to get normal, like I said, fuel assistance, things like that, where I get told one thing, I get told something else. Actually, that's been going on for over 2 years now. So preceding the pandemic, when I'm dealing with people, when I pick up the phone, I always get a person who, they're lies. Whether you think things are white lies, if you mislead somebody, if you tell somebody the wrong information, if you give somebody false hope, or you make somebody wait for something that's never going to come, you're lying and you're fucking with somebody's life. And a lot of people have been fucking with my life, and I know I'm in a position, and most people would be like, well, that's what you get for being in that position in the first place. I'm in this position because people fucked with my life years ago. Sometimes they were family members, sometimes they were outside people, but everybody lies. I'm over here telling the truth all the time. And to some degree, you could say, okay, well, maybe you're a naive idiot. And I didn't think I was. And the word gullible, I remember years ago when you would look up astrology stuff and it would say how Sagittariuses were gullible. I'm like, I'm really not, because I really like double down on checking people and checking and rechecking and verifying things, and I don't believe anything anybody tells me, you know? So in terms of gullible, it's in my old age where I'm like, okay, let's file this thing that I have under gullible. And what that is not taking people at their word. But if you say you call a place, say you call a store, and you ask them what their hours are, you're not going to assume, you're not going to say there's a 50-50 chance the person on the line is going to tell me the truth. That's not something to lie about. If you call an agency and you ask them a question, about your case or your application. You don't expect them to just tell you bullshit because they don't know the answer, and then your application is fucked up, or your application doesn't go in because this person couldn't bother to check, or tell you, you know what, I don't know. Can I take your number and have somebody get back to you? I mean, I've answered the phone. I've had secretary jobs. I know the kind of shit you're supposed to say when somebody calls and you don't have the answer. You take a fucking message and you take their phone number and you get back to them, or you don't. But you don't tell them bullshit wrong answers, so they go around fucked up. But nobody cares anymore because this is the narcissist world I'm talking about. Like I said, I didn't know what the hell. I knew what a narcissist was, thinking of a completely arrogant and conceited person. But now this looser definition fits most people, and that's the world we're living in right now, where people just, they don't care. As long as they squeak by, they will lie as often as possible, as much as they can without getting fired. They will fuck up as often as they'll fail up, you know, and the degree to which our world has gotten like this now. I mean, we all know, if we go on Twitter right now, you know, because Twitter is a constant information source, whether it's news or bad information or whatever, it's telling you something. So if we go on Twitter right now, half of the trending shit is a lie and nobody cares. This is why maybe, and I want to say it's the younger generation, I just feel like they've been raised in a world of lies, so they don't know the difference. But it's not just them, because the people who are my age or older, who are also trying to finagle in this world, they're going along with the lies and they're going along with the bullshit. And we saw that with certain things that happened in the last couple years, and you know, the truth is coming out on those things, and people are gonna lie that they didn't. People are gonna lie that they didn't lie about it, or lie that they didn't believe it when they were hook, line, and sinker with that stuff, you know. And it's just, it's such a ridiculous way to live. That is just, everything's a lie. It's such, I mean, it's such an artificial world. And I'm like, how am I still alive in this? How have I not choked to death on these lies? Because I hate it. I always hated lies, but the world was not like this 5 years ago. Okay? We know about the situation with the person in charge of the United States. We know about all the things we've been told about certain, let's call them remedies. They're not remedies. We know how much we've been lied to in the last year as a society. And some of us knew we were being lied to all along. I'm going to eat my sandwich, so deal with it. But as it's coming out, for whoever was left over who believed any of that bullshit, they're just acting like they don't hear anything. They're acting deaf. And I'm sorry, but I don't have any more compassion for the fools who were perfectly willing to go along with the ruination of our world and still are. You're a guilty party. I'm not going to do anything to you, but I am going to hate your guts and I am going to judge you because you were ready to give up everything and you don't even know why. That's how much you consume the lie. You ate it up like it was fucking bonbons. You ate it up like it was the most delicious thing in the world. You know what I mean? And you mocked and ridiculed and fucking ostracized people who weren't willing to just accept lies. And now you're gonna sit there like a fucking moron and act like you don't know what the hell's going on, or nothing happened. Or as these reports come out and everything gets proven to you, some people are doubling. At least the people who are doubling down aren't trying to like slink away like cowards. They're doubling down on their lies and bullshit because they want to, or because they can't deal with the fact that they went along with this big fat lie. I don't know. My throat's acting up. So I recently went to the dentist. She made my teeth look ridiculous. She broke off part of my tooth and doing the crown. The crown looks stupid, doesn't look anything like the tooth that I had. She made my front tooth over here look circular. I hate fucking circular things. My teeth aren't round. And I'm like, now I'm gonna be like an asshole canceling appointments because I'm like, I don't want to fucking go there. My teeth don't hurt, but yeah, they all need a lot of work. But I'm like, I still want my teeth to look like what they looked like before. I feel like this side of my face now looks lopsided because my lip and everything is either getting stuck or not getting stuck enough. And it's like, this tooth is lower. It's all wrong. And I'm like, and I'm talking to myself saying, you don't want all your teeth to look like that. They're still in your head. They still look like the teeth you've had your whole life, good or bad. You know, do you want to have a bunch of round fucking circles and, you know, discs for teeth? See how it's going like this? It's like, to me, it's like going like this all the time because this is this massive fucking crown that looked nothing like the opposite tooth. I've been over that before. I'm like, if I've got fillings that, oh, she's going to change all my teeth. And this is what I'm saying. These people, you go to them. And this has happened to me since I've been on Mass Health. And when you go to a dentist who takes Mass Health, in the past, they always come up with, I need a huge number of fillings. Which, one time they did it, and it was like, I had just been going to that same dentist. I went to them 6 months before. How 6 months to the next could I suddenly need a ton of fillings? But I started to think to myself, okay, maybe that's the number that they can do. Like Mass Health says, you can do X amount of fillings. So every time some new patient goes in there, they're going to say, oh my God, I don't want you to pass out. Because that happened to me twice. They acted like, oh my God, we don't want you to pass out, but you need so many fillings. They really did. And then 3 years later, I'd been going to the same dentist for 3 years, but it was the same dental office, but they sent me to somebody else. This guy did the exact same thing, exact same number of fillings. Oh my God, I don't want you. I was like, how could I suddenly need that same huge number of fillings when I've been going to this dental office for 3 years, and 6 months ago I think I needed like one filling fixed. In 6 months it's suddenly the same story it was when I first came here 3 years ago. Like, to this guy I was new. It was the same building, same office, same door, same girl at the front desk. But to this dentist, I was new, and I'm suddenly getting the same bullshit story I got 3 years ago that I need. Because when I went, the 3 years before, I hadn't gone to the dentist for a couple of years. And I'm not great at flossing and all this stupid shit. I've never been. So I'm like, well, maybe. And I go along with it. Because you can want to make money, but why would you do? Why? You know what I mean? How bad is your life when you're a fucking dentist that you really need to scam people so bad so you can have two boats? So you can have a better boat than the boat you had before? Because I went to a dentist once years ago, and this is why I don't tend to not go. While he was doing my teeth, trying to tell me that I needed a crown, or I needed to get a root canal crown and all this shit, when I was like, whoa, it didn't hurt or anything. He was just filling another tooth, sitting there talking about his fucking boat. And I'm like, you're not going to tell me a person you know doesn't have money that they need all this expensive stuff done. And while you're working on them, you're going to talk about money and having a boat and going on vacation. And this is all the shit you're talking about while you're to the dental hygienist while you're working on my mouth. There's no way in hell I'm going to trust you. So, now again, I go to this completely different lady. Isn't it the same fucking number of fillings I need? It's like, how could it? You know what I mean? They're redoing the same fillings over and over and over again. And I'm not saying, because throughout the pandemic, we all got mask mouth or whatever, and of course I wasn't going anywhere, I wasn't seeing anybody, I was not knocking myself out brushing my teeth and flossing and mouthwash and all that stuff, and I eat junk. So possible. Is it possible? Yes. But isn't it funny that all those years before I was on Mass Health and I would go to the dentist, same person eating the same garbage, brushing their teeth the same way, you know, didn't go for years, would show up, needed 2 fillings. When I went to a real dentist and I was paying out of pocket, but somehow every time I go to a new dentist on Mass Health, I need a ton of fillings. So like I said, in the past, it's like, okay, I need, they weren't making my teeth look ridiculous. This person's making my and giving me shit, and I'm going along with it because I'm like, I don't want to fight anymore. You know, I've always been a fighter. I've always stood up for myself, but it's every fucking day. You gotta fight with people just to survive. Every time I mean, it's be alone in the house, which I don't know how long I'm gonna have this situation. It's being alone in the house, or deal with just these lying sacks of shit. Every fucking person I come into contact with is either full of shit overtly. They're just liars and scam artists and people who are trying to get what you got. They're trying to take it out of you. Or you're dealing with people who can't deal with this world, so they're so fucking weak that you're trying to talk to them, and it's like talking to a space alien because they're not even in their own head. You're going to therapists who at some point start giving you shit because they're also, well, I got problems too, and then they start telling you that they're in therapy and they're on medication, and it's like, what am I going to you for if you're fucked up? You know what I mean? But it's like, again, in my situation, I have to go to who's available. So it's either go to who's available, get taken advantage of, have round teeth, get no help with therapy, but go to who you have to go to because you're on this freaking health plan. Thanks, Ted Kennedy. What's hell like? Because I know you're down there. So this is my situation, and it's like, I avoid these people until I start to feel like the ticking time bomb. I better go. I better go to the dentist, or else, you know, all my teeth are going to fall in my head. Or I better go to the doctor, or, you know, before my leg falls off. You know what I mean? But I haven't thought any of these people are going to help me for years. It's just like a guilty conscience thing of, I better go before something even worse happens. I'm out of focus, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's the moving around, but... So, let me take a bite of my tuna fish, because I went to the effort of trying to make it. I don't know what would happen if I did. The hot dog bun is falling apart. Well, it's not a hot dog bun if I put tuna fish in it, right? The bun is falling apart. So, I've been going this thing to try to find a job. Last week I went, just like I've been going. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, but the week before I said something about the jab. And I said something, because she wanted me to think about a certain job, and I was like, well, I don't think they would hire me anyway, because now I'm like, I'm not trying to think anything, but so the next week I go, last Monday, and I'm talking to her, and she's bringing up these other jobs, and I'm expecting her to have like a few jobs and say, okay, well, yeah, okay, maybe this, maybe not that. And I had said I wanted to cast a wide net, which I do, because to me, I don't really think, I said from the beginning I didn't think people would hire me. That's why I ended up in this program thinking that they would help people who were hard to get hired, and I still did, and I still do. But from everything she's saying in the last couple of weeks, it's kind of like, no, they don't really. She led me to believe last Monday that she doesn't have any more resources than I do looking on my own. Which is like, why have I been waiting and going through this whole process and trying? Why didn't I just off myself 6 months ago? Because I'm hanging in there because of this bullshit. And now you're trying to tell me it's bullshit? Was it bullshit last week before I said something about the jab? About not getting the jab. because I haven't and I won't. But there have to be, if there are all these jobs out there open because, and they keep saying we can't hire anybody, it's because they all have a job policy. Then stop listening to the media telling these jobs are open. If they don't want to hire people just because we were smart enough to not get the stupid thing. And like I said, the proof is in the pudding now. It's coming out. People are finding out. Yesterday, the thing was trending about people having boo-boos. Because of it, it was actually trending through all the, censorship and everything. It was trending. So it's coming up. People know what's happened. But last Monday I'm there and I'm talking to her, and all of a sudden we got mixed up because I said I wanted to cast a wide net, and I'm saying, well, I didn't want to go through this thing. Oh, here's what had happened before. So the week before, we were talking about job stuff and everything, and we were talking about there's this one thing called School Spring that I don't know if this is everywhere, but around here, like if you want to apply to work in a school, that's where they filter that's the program that they do their applications through. And I had tried it years ago, and I couldn't get past it because I have a spot where I don't have references to put down because I haven't worked in a long time. And when you try to apply online for things, and you have to fill in all the boxes, and you can't get past something, I was like, well, how the hell am I supposed to do this? So I said something about that before. But anyway, so I said something to her about it. So I'm sitting in my house. I look on my Gmail account. I get a message from School Spring saying, why did you try to make a new account? You already have one. I'm like, I didn't try to make a new account. And I'm like, okay, I just said something to her about School Spring. I'm like, okay, did she try to make an account for me for School Spring? Because why the fuck would somebody do that? Because you know as well as I don't care if you're making an email account or you're not supposed to share your passwords and give people your password. And I'm like, did she try to do that? So I sent her an email. I'm like, did you try to make... I said, I just got a thing from School Spring saying that I tried to make an account when I already have one. Was that you? And she's like, oh, well, yeah, because I wanted to... And I'm just like, what? I'm like, what the hell is this? Because this is the problem when you start looking for help or you try to get help from agencies. Like, these people get paid to help people. They get paid by a grant. They get paid by something. Somehow they get paid by the government to help people. And these are all the people I'm talking about and all the people I'm complaining about. When I'm saying I'm calling here, I'm calling there, 99% of the time I'm calling some agency that gets a grant or something. Okay? And this is why I'm saying, this is why when I come to my conclusions about government and what I would do if I was supreme leader, I know what I'm saying it and why I'm saying it. Okay? I know what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. So this person is like, I'm like, wait a freaking minute. What is this about people when you ask for help? Next thing you know, they're all the way up your ass and they're like doing privacy issue shit. I'm not going to say that though. And this is what gets me about life. I've been trying to be polite to people for years. Because yes, I am a Sagittarius. And I have Sagittarius Mercury. And I have my North Node in Sagittarius, okay? And other planets too. So I tell the truth and stuff like that. But as I got older, I learned to try to just buffer things because people can't handle the truth. So we're coming to a point now in the last year or so where I feel like the universe really wants me to blast people. And this is the first time in my life where I have no backup at all. I have no ability to fight back because I don't have any of this. The way the world is right now, it's not like it once was where people believed in people having rights. You know what I mean? If somebody wants to ruin you, they can do it like that. So you have to kind of watch your ass and you have to watch what you say and you have to choose your battles. So there's so many people like, I don't want to fucking battle with these people. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. But I feel like for the past year or so, the universe has been trying to push me to really tell people off in a way I haven't done in years. And I don't feel like I'm worried about doing that now, because it's like, I don't, I am not in a position to fuck with people or destroy somebody's mental frailty, because people are frail and they're more frail than ever, and I know that, and I'm trying to be polite, and you do things, and there's a dance in this world where you sometimes, when people try to do something, like say somebody was trying to pick you up in a bar or something, and you, instead of saying, ew, you're gross, get away, you just say, oh no, you come up with something to say without lying, to just say, to hint, no thank you. You know what I mean? So that kind of ticked me off. I honestly, the way my brain is, I forgot about it. This school spring shit, and her trying to make an account on my behalf, which is really, this is not something I tolerate. This is like grabbing my ass. This is not something you can do. This is inappropriate. This is rapey, stalkery. It's not okay. But I didn't say anything, because I was like, what the fuck? But then I forgot about it. I did. I don't stay mad anyway, but now my brain doesn't work, so I forgot. We go to the meeting, and I'm sitting there talking to her, and then she brought up school spring, and I was like, oh yeah. I didn't say anything. I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't see myself applying for that anyway. They're not going to hire me anyway. So I'm trying to back away from this thing, which I know, again, they're going to have mandates about stuff like that in the schools. So there's no point in even going down that path, right? And I think I'm going to get away from this. She starts flipping out on me. Not flipping out on me, but she's like, so what I'm hearing you say is, and this is what she's done every week. I say something to her, and then she has to translate it into what I really mean. And it's like, no, I'm telling you the truth. And we've been through this about what kind of person I am and how I tell the truth. But then she's always translating it for herself. And it's like, so what like one time I said, I think I could do a lot of jobs, most office jobs, with minimal training, meaning just telling me where the toilet is and telling me, how this fax machine works compared to the other one, and I'll do the job. You know what I mean? So what I'm hearing you say is that you want training. And I'm like, no, that's not what I said. And she keeps translating what I'm saying into something else, and it's like, no. And then I'm like, are these the things she wants me to say? Is this what I'm supposed to say so that I can continue in this program? You know what I mean? But again, I'm being honest, and she's acknowledging that I say I'm being honest. I'm a straight shooter, and I say what I mean, and I do what I say. But that doesn't mean you're going to get it back. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm sitting there, and she brings up the school spring, and she's like, well, did you remember your school spring password? And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you what. I'm not saying this out loud, but I'm just like, why does she think I'm going to give her my password and log on to it through her computer or through her laptop? What is happening here? So I'm just saying to myself, I'm like, yeah, well, I don't see that being a thing. So she's like, well, I thought you said you wanted to cast a wide net. And it's like, so then we start getting into almost a tussle. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, well, this is the only jobs? Because she came up with another job before, and it was like something I just applied for. Oh, it was at the library. Like, I applied for that a couple years ago. I don't think I can do that job. They stand up all day. I need an office job where you sit down, or some other kind of job where you sit down. I can't work a cash register because I can't stand up for a long time. I just can't. And that's been my problem for all these years, which is ridiculous. Because before I had this problem, all my jobs were sitting. I was spry and I could stand. I used to stand up, swear to God, because I was like the kind of person who waited outside premieres and stuff. I used to stand for hours. See how this looks? Like this is what I mean about these teeth. Because it's like my teeth are lopsided now. And my mouth is lopsided. It didn't look like that before. She did pull down. Maybe she almost pulled the plate out of my head. These people, they don't know what they're doing. Anyways, again, so I used to stand for hours. Back in the last century, when I lived in New York, when I wasn't fat, I used to stand for hours. outside of premieres, waiting in line to get something signed and an autograph signing. Used to stand for hours, and that whole time I had jobs sitting down at a desk as a secretary, office assistant, shit like that, right? I come home, suddenly put on a bunch of weight. Every job I tried to, it seems like the only jobs available are cashier and stuff like that, where you have to stand up all day. And then because I put on all this weight, I developed this issue of not being able to stand on my feet without it first being painful, and now I have an issue with it, like my leg goes numb if I stand up for a long time. Not even that long anymore. Okay, because now I'm old and decrepit and everything fucking hurts. But like I said, when I didn't have this issue, every single job I applied for, I could have taken jobs standing up back then. It wasn't necessary. I was just getting office jobs. Now everything is you gotta stand. Oh, so anyway, but the point is, so she said something about that. I'm like, they stand up all day. She's like, yeah, but you know, we could ask them about a chair. I'm like, look, I don't want to apply for something, get the job, and then they're like, oh, okay, well, them pressure me into being in a situation where I gotta do things that were part of the job in the first place, and I don't want to cause a fight. I don't want to cause a problem. If there's all these jobs in this world and stuff right now, and they're all open, and I can't get in one of them that fits. I'm saying to her, and she's acting like now I'm making excuses or I don't want to job. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened between this week and last week? Because all of a sudden it's like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I left. When I eventually left, I'm like, this is the fucking school spring thing. Somehow she let slip that she's a Cancer. I don't know why the universe keeps mixing me up with Cancers. Cancers are like this. Cancers are controlling. They want to take over. They think they own you. And she didn't seem like that in the beginning. But now here it is. And Sagittarius and Cancers don't mix. Or with Taurus, because Sagittarius are free spirits. They have to have their freedom. Cancers and Tauruses want to own people or control people. Tauruses are more like dictators, and Cancers are more like stalker type husbands, or who won't let you go to the store. You know what I mean? And it's like, we don't belong in the same sphere. But I keep ending up, because I don't get to make a choice. And like I said, if I ruled the universe, everybody right here would have to wear the astrological sun sign glyph, just like Charles Manson had that swastika. Everybody, so I'd have a little arrow for Sagittarius. If you're a Leo, you have that little squiggly. If you're Aquarius, you have the two little wave lines. That way there, every time you deal with somebody, you know right away who you're dealing with, and you say, oh, that's a Cancer. Let me run back the other way. Because if you know, you've been on Earth long enough, you know, I am constantly having the same freaking problem with these people. But I go to an agency, I go to a dentist, I go to a lawyer. You're dealing with them for like a little while before you find a way to find out what their birthday is. I wish to God you had, like I said, you would know. It would be here. Or, you know, every doctor and every lawyer, you could just look them up and their birthday was there. I wish. Because I think the world would be a better place. See, I just feel like my face is crooked. In a way that it wasn't now. Maybe it is. Maybe she did. Because she was pulling so hard to get the temporary crown off that I heard a crunch. But I thought she was going to pull the whole thing out, and then I was going to have nothing there to build a crown on or whatever, you know. See how it looks like? It didn't look like that before. My teeth were always crooked, but it didn't look like. Anyway, so it's blurry again, and I'm talking too long, but that's okay. Cause no, it won't. Hey. So I'm supposed to go tomorrow, and I really don't want to go. And I have other stuff. I got a lot of stuff to do that I needed to do. This thing has to go back. This hotspot has to go back. I found out the hotspots are only until September, and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? Every time I think I get a new way of managing my situation, and it's temporary, or it's like, okay, no, actually that's not going to work out. And I'm just like, I watch the news, And I don't even comment on the news anymore because it's such, and it's been going on for pretty much 2022. It's such bullshit folded up on top of each other that I can't. It's like, what is it to talk about? There's nothing here that's real. You know what I mean? Even the weather. Like, I went out today. If I had listened to the weather people, I would have stayed in because it's supposed to be worse than yesterday. It's better. Every time they're constantly telling you how bad the weather's going to be. And, like, there's been days when I went out and I stood outside for a couple seconds and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I felt like somebody just lit my skin on fire. And those are not the days they say don't go out. Or they say it's going to be in the 90s or whatever. Those are days it's like 84 degrees. And they're telling you, oh, it's going to be bad in a couple days. And you're like, I'm burning to death now. You know what I mean? So then when the 90-degree days come, you're like, I'm not going out. This has been going on for 3 weeks. 3 weeks I have been afraid of the weather. That's why when today I was like, let me go out because I can. I'm able to walk and I'm able to do things. It's not that bad. I went to... There's a little park on the next block. And I said, let me go outside, just to walk outside, just to walk a little bit, see if my legs will work. And I'll just sit on the bench and, you know, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the trees. I'm like, these trees have not had a drink. I ended up coming home, getting an empty water jug, filling it, and watering the trees in the park because I'm like, I felt so bad. The trees were like, help me. And I'm like, this world is fucked up. And I know that this isn't by accident. I'm sorry, it's not. And with the wildfires, like I said, the wildfires, I've been watching the Weather Channel since I was a kid. The weather comes from the west, goes all the way east, and goes around the world like that. So, to some degree, it's not the same, but to some, if there's a weather system in California, and I live here in Massachusetts, it's going to come east, whether it goes above us, below us, the jet stream goes like this and pushes it, whatever. Weather goes west to east, okay? So, when there was the wildfires last year, it ended up eventually that those smog clouds or smoke clouds or whatever you want to call them, eventually, the ash eventually got here. So, guess what? If the weather say you're in California and the weather's supposed to be 70 degrees, but everything's on fire, the air is going to get cooked. And as the air is going to get cooked, that cooked air is making it across the country. Now, should it go up into the atmosphere and cool down? I don't know. But it's starting off hotter. So it's going to cool down less as it comes across than it would if it was the temperature it was supposed to be instead of the cooked air. And I say this, and it's like, that's stupid. It's not science. It's not going to cool off anywhere as long as there's fires. Because the air is being cooked. Anyways, so yeah, so this chick, so now I'm like, I still need help. I don't know if this agency has any help for me or not. She's got me thinking that this is kind of been a waste of my time, but it's like, it can't be. Because it's still supposed to help people who have a barrier to employment. Mine is that I haven't worked in a long time. And like I said, I do because of that. Like my old bosses died and the places went out of business and stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? And even still, people don't want to hire you if you haven't worked. Even if it's like a year. If you have a year gap, people don't want to hire. So I have these things. It's not nothing. And that's what I've needed help with for a long time. Like, how do I find a way around that? So people will treat you like you're still a human being. But that's why for years I was trying to find a way around that, and I didn't. That's why I said nobody's ever going to hire me. And that's what I said to the therapist back in December that made her put me in this program. You know? And I've been waiting and going along with it, and a lot of nonsense and a lot of miscommunication. But this time I'm just like, so she's like, well, I thought you wanted to cast a wide net. And I was like, yeah, what does that have to do with what I said? This one job means I don't want to cast a wide net. Because I said that it's School Spring and we're stuck on School Spring. Because she's trying to make me a freaking... I know this, and I'm just like, why? And then my brain starts melting. I'm like, why are we sticking on this? Why are we suddenly having a problem? I know she's a Cancer. I haven't had a problem with her to this point. Why are we stuck? And I swear to God, we went around. We're supposed to be there for an hour. We were there for an hour and 45 minutes because we couldn't get past this. And I'm like, I kept saying, I don't understand what happened. And I'm trying to tell her what's going on here. I don't understand what happened. And it ends up being this whole fucking thing. And I'm just like, why am I in this thing right now? This like miscommunication circus, or this what is happening? Like, you're in a conversation or you're in a situation with somebody and you're in it and you're like, what's going on right now? And I'm trying to explain, no, I'm not wanting help, and I'm not saying no to no job ever, but everything I said, she acted like it made her more confused. Okay, so you're saying this, or okay, so it's like, wait, this isn't confusing. I don't understand what's happening, you know? And it was like, and I said later I texted to my cousin, I was like, I think sometimes people misunderstand me or pretend to, because they want me to say something else. So they pretend they don't understand what I'm saying, because I'm not saying the answer they want to hear. And it's like, if I'm telling you I'm honest and stuff, and even if it's not in your nature to be honest, or whatever the hell's going on, why can't you just be honest back and be like, okay, well, you need to say this, or else we're not going to help you. Or here's a note card, here's a card like they give a cue card, here's your cue card, this is what you're supposed to say. You know what I mean? It's trying to nudge me into the direction of saying the words that you want to have come out of my mouth. I've been in that position before, and it's like, well, then just fucking tell me what you want me to say. If you really don't like the words that are coming out of my mouth and you mean me to say something else, feed me the line. If we're all in a pantomime and it's all bullshit, tell me what it is I'm supposed to be saying to you that's going to make you happy, and then I'll say it or I won't. But why do we have to be in a freaking grudge match of pretend misunderstanding? Because I'm sitting there and I'm saying to her over and over again, no, look, I'm just like, drop the school spring thing. And then we have to go, would you not want to work in this school ever? And it's like, what is this ever shit? What is this for? You know what I mean? And it starts being, and then she's like, well, no, I don't mean you wouldn't be able to apply for a job like that later on. And I'm just like, what? You know what I mean? I'm just like, what is this? What am I in right now? And this went on for an hour. Now, my brain was going to start leaking out of my ears. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? So, last night, I'm like, you know what? I need to do a lot of stuff online. I didn't end up doing it. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. When I end up going down there, like, yeah, last Monday, it took my whole morning. Because I had to walk down there, went through all that shit, and honestly, I thought about it for the rest of the week. For like 3 fucking days, I couldn't get out of my mind, what the fuck was that? Because when I don't understand something, it sits on my head like a fucking hat, like a tight hat. When I got a confused thing, or there's a fucking mystery, it just sits on my head. Just like somebody threw an egg and it clatched on my head, and I can't get it off for some reason. It just sits there like a big fat question mark right on my head. And I can't think about other things. I can do stuff, but I can't have my mind on what I'm doing, because my mind in the background is going, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? I don't understand. What the fuck was that? Because it's not a resolved issue. You know, and it's still not a resolved issue. And I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I got stuff I gotta do. I don't want to waste the little time I have left with this thing. It's a bad day. I'm like, let me see if I can change that appointment at least. So yesterday I sent an email saying, you know, I got a lot of stuff I got to do Monday. Can we change it to another day in the week? I don't get anything back. That was last night. So I'm like, okay, maybe she didn't get the email. And I've had email issue with her before. First she said she would never send me an email without texting me so I'd know it was there. I got an email from her like 2 weeks ago. She hadn't sent a text and I didn't see it because I get so many things from what? Indeed. I get freaking millions of, but the worst part is I searched my email for her name and it didn't come up somehow. So I don't know. But then this time so I sent this email last night saying the meeting's supposed to be for tomorrow morning. And I'm like, you know, I got a lot of stuff I'm going to do on Monday. Can I change the appointment? Can we change the appointment to some other time during the week? Right? And we didn't officially make an appointment. Well, she hasn't been. And people do this to me after a while, like therapists and stuff, like I'm just supposed to show up when they think I'm supposed to show up. It's like, did we make an appointment? So it's like, it keeps being 10 o'clock on Monday. I can't. It's bad timing for me anyway, but I can't do it. And I'm like, this time I got other stuff to do. If I'm going to go there, we're going to have a grudge match. Nothing's going to get accomplished because most of the time we end up, okay, the meeting's over. She's like, oh, well, I was going to do all this stuff, but. And it's like, because I was talking too much. And I'm like, I don't have time to waste. So if we need to do stuff, let's do it. And then I say, I talk, oh, no, you don't talk too much. It's like, that's when you're like, how are you getting paid? Are you getting paid by the hour? But then all of a sudden it's like, which is what I thought she was doing, is she was trying to stretch it out. Now it's like, oh, I don't think I can help you anymore. This is what I think these people do. Therapists, anybody. They have some kind of contract, or they have some kind of thing, like I said about the so many fillings. They want to squeeze as much money out of your insurance or whatever as they can. So they maybe say, oh, you got to come in 6 times when you only need to go twice. And then you come and you got a problem and you want to keep going. And they're like, okay, well, yeah, I don't really think there's any help for you by. Because they've charged as much as they can, or they don't really want to do the job. You're a pain in the ass. You're not somebody who just, you know what I mean? You actually want to get something accomplished. You actually want to fix what's wrong with your brain. You're not just there because you've been court ordered or some other thing. So in reality, all these people that I'm dealing with, it's like they're just getting paid. They couldn't care less if you. And I'm not talking about people answering, just the people answering the phone. I'm talking about people who are supposed to be helping you, because their job is a helping job. They're a therapist. They're some kind of counselor. They're supposed to be helping you. These people kind of hate people. They get these jobs and they fucking hate people. And they're just there to cash a check. And I'm just like, it's one thing, like I said, you go to Walmart and the cashier's a jerk. She's not there to make your life better. She's not a therapist. She's not a counselor. She's not somebody who's supposed to be helping you deal with your mental health. Her feet hurt and she's sick of work. She already had a problem with a customer and she doesn't feel like it right now. So if she's a jerk, it's not nice, but it happens. But her job is not one of a mental health professional or somebody who's supposed to be helping you in that way. Just like if a priest acts like a douchebag. I've had priests act like douchebags to me. And it's just like, this is why I'm like, I can't leave the fucking house without dealing with somebody. Well, I didn't talk to anybody else today. But Walgreens kid who's telling me there's nothing on my account. Of course there is. Of course there is. Like I said, that email came Friday. This is Sunday. I got the email Friday from Walgreens telling me I had $2 on my account that I could use. I go down there Sunday. What time was it? It was like 7 something just now. Oh no, you can't. There's nothing on your account. And I know he just doesn't know how to do his job. So now my thing is I'm stuck with the dentist and with this girl. It's like this lady. And it's like, I mean, I have to go back to them in a way. I have to because I need the help. But then again, it's not help. If they're going to just hate your guts or I mean, the dentist, forget it. I'm afraid of them because I'm like, they're going to make things worse. You know? I really am afraid of going back there. But in this case, I'm like, I don't even know what this is now. I don't even know what's going on. I don't know what all that drama was about last week. Why I ended up wasting a bunch of time trying to clarify what I said. You know? I don't think, I know I talk funny and I jump around and stuff like that, but I think I'm pretty clear. You know? So anyway, so I sent the email. I didn't hear back, so I sent a text. I don't like to text people. I don't like to bother people. You know what I mean? So to me, email is like, get around to it when you can, but you know, in a case of an appointment or something, you know, I don't want to not say, but this is, you know, so I sent a text a few hours ago. I really can't come tomorrow. Can we just switch it for another time this week? You know? But like I said, people hate my guts. People don't, I express myself clearly. Or I express myself directly. And if I got an issue, I'm going to say it. If you know what I mean? I don't really, this is the thing about me, which is very strange for how I am. I really don't have that, I personally, inside myself, I don't have that many problems with people. I can get along with people very well. It's other people who can't get along with me. You know, in terms of they don't like me and they can't say so. Or, I don't know. It's not all the time. You know what I mean? Like if I, suppose I worked with somebody. And we didn't get along. I would steer clear of them. Other people, sometimes, they can't stand having to work with somebody they don't like, so it becomes a whole freaking thing where they're gonna be in your face to start with you until you become somebody they like or you quit. It's like, why can't you be over there and I'm over here? And we just, you know, it's a problem. I think I have a certain kind of personality that I know how I am now. And I think that based on, excuse me for a second. I gotta use a spoon. I think that based on society and how people think, I have no business having the kind of energy I have. Which I'm not a guy, so I shouldn't have that kind of energy. If you understand what it is. But people get aggravated. And that's why people won't help you. Because people only want to help people who come hat in hand. I learned this a long time ago. People only, like, I learned this when I used to volunteer teaching English as a second language, hoping that would turn into something, which it didn't. The people who loved the undocumented workers and wanted to help them so much didn't love them. They saw them as below them. Therefore, oh, these poor sad things need my help. They didn't respect them as equals or individuals or just as valuable as them as human beings. They're these poor, sad, huddled masses. Oh, I must help these poor unfortunates. They're not wonderful like me. So, that's why people... Anyway, the point is, people don't want to help people if they think that they're as smart as them or they can do their job or they could... They don't want to help anybody on the same level. They only want to help people they see as lower than them. So if you're a little kid, if they think you're uglier than them, if they think that you're poorer than them, if they think that you're stupider than them, if they think that you could compete with them in any facet of life. Oh, that person might be smarter than me. Oh, that person might be, you know, a better disco dancer. Whatever. If they think you're better than them, or you could be better than them, or you could compete with them in any way, shape, or form, they're not going to help you. Because they just see you as competition. They don't see you as another human being who's struggling through life just like they are. This is me putting sugar in my tea. That's why I'm stretching. So yeah, they see you as competition. You could be having nothing. You're not going near their job. You're not going near their husband. You're not going near anything they want in life. But you're not, they don't see you as below. They probably see you as below, but they don't see you as below enough that you're never going to threaten whatever the hell they think they might be threatened in. And therefore we get to the people who are the threatened people. And the threatened people, I feel threatened by, like, mean dogs. And something that could give me a disease. Like a mosquito. These are the things because they're an actual threat to my life. Or other situations that are an actual threat to my life. Like if, let's say, a senator decides to get on a plane and wants to go to Taiwan to try to set off World War III. Okay, that's a threat to my life. You know, but, if she needed to, if she fell in the street, I'd still help her stand up. Do you understand? I'm not the kind of person who says, oh, that's my competition, let her suffer. Oh, that's my I'm not going to do that. I've never been that way, because I don't think in competitive terms. I've said that a million times. I said I think it's because I'm an only child. But I went to therapy, she said, I'm an only child and I'm competitive. So who knows? But I'm not competitive, so I don't look at somebody and size them up and say, oh, well, I'm better than them, XXXX, and all these different things, but there's the one thing they might be better than me at. I don't get that. So, I don't know. And I'm not saying this was going on with this woman. I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened last week. Like I said, maybe when I said the jab, I became an impossible person to help. About me not getting the jab, that I became an impossible person to help. And because of that, now she doesn't know what to do. And that's where all the confusion comes in. But I still think it's the school spring thing, and they're trying to make an account for me, which is wrong. It's morally wrong. But I let it go. That's the key. I was letting it go and trying to brush it away and move on to something else. Because, like I said, I didn't think that was a real path for me anyway. But she got stuck on it, and she wouldn't back down. And then she's like, oh, well, I had all these other jobs, but now the time's up. An hour and a half? When I was supposed to be there for an hour? Or 45 minutes or something? It's like, really? Because she kept the conversation stuck for like 45 minutes. And then at the end she said, oh, well, I was going to talk to you about all these other jobs, but... This is what I'm dealing with all the time. Like I said, it could be my energy that comes across as, you know... I don't even know how to call it except for that. I don't come across as a fearful individual. I don't come across as a coward or as a wilting flower. My circumstance could be worse, but it's pretty fucking bad. And I'm like the low man beneath the totem pole. But I don't act like it. You know, I don't act like, please, sir, can I have some more? I don't come hat in hand. I probably am supposed to. But the thing is, I've never treated people differently based on status. I've never treated people differently based on age or race or anything else. I'm totally always been an equal opportunity person just because I treat everybody the same. So I treat myself the same too. And I'm gonna respect myself just as much as I would respect anybody else. You know, and I don't compare myself, and I don't say, well, they're better than me, so I have to, like, you know, I can't look them in the eye. You know what I mean? I'm not that, you know? So that rubs people the wrong way if they're the kind of person who thinks, if they're a diva and they think they don't want anybody looking them in the eye. Yeah, they're not going to like me very much. But I'm not talking about divas here. We're talking about regular people exerting their bullshit little... tiny powers that they have, bus drivers or people who, you know, they think they're in charge of something and you're on their territory or you're in their kingdom and you have to bow down to them, you know. There are people who do that, and there's some people who, and I don't begrudge the people who do, you know, because they can do it and they see the path and they see the clear path of how that can get them everything they want, you know. If they kiss everybody's ass, eventually, someday, everybody's going to have to turn around and kiss their ass. I get that. You know, I just can't do it. I'm just not made that way because there's a dishonesty in it for me, which I don't mind if you're dishonest. Don't be dishonest with me. I'm not going to be dishonest with you. But, I get it because they're more worldly people who are like that. I'm just not of this world. And that's why I keep saying, why am I still here? I have never belonged here. The world keeps getting worse like this. Like I said, I watch the news. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? You know? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to keep having pieces of tuna fish drop out of my mouth. Like, the nightly news was on, and I was here, and I don't remember what happened. I was watching reaction videos. Reaction videos are keeping me sane. Oh! Speaking of reaction videos. I think I solved John Wick. I literally keep watching reaction videos. This is how bad it is. The only thing. I keep watching reaction videos for the John Wick 4 trailer. John Wick Chapter 4. What the fuck are we calling this movie? JW4. Anyway. And, man, people are funny. Because it's like, they're saying, a lot of people are saying the same thing. And I'm like, is that really coincidence? Or is some people just watching other people's? And I'm looking and it looks like they all did it the same night. That we all saw it first. And I'm like the way everybody reacts to Donnie Yen the exact same way. I'm like, did you people all know? Because I'm the only person who didn't know Donnie Yen. All the movies I watched, because, okay. I used to be, like I said, the kind of person who watched genre movies, and I would talk with genre people on Star Wars message boards, places like that, in the beginnings of the internet, right? And then as time went on, I started to talk more to the people who talked about the Oscar race. So I started talking about the Shishi Poo Poo movies, but I still would try to, you know, be like, hey, you know, The Dark Knight should get nominated, or hey, what about The Dark Knight Rises? You know, and I would watch a great performance in a movie that nobody, and I would say, hey, what about this? And the Oscar people always thought I was nuts. The people who talk about that all the time, what's wrong with you? That's not an Oscar movie. Shut up. I'm like, yeah, but their performance was really good, but the cinematography. Okay, whatever, shut up. You know what I mean? So, I was between two worlds, but I tended to watch the hoity-toity movies. So when we're talking about, like I'm seeing all these martial arts people I never saw before by way of me watching. If I'm watching videos on YouTube about John Wick or something, it'll pop up with, oh, best fight scenes ever. So I'll sit there and watch, and I'll be like, I never saw that movie. Then I'll try to go watch the movie, and I'm like, ugh. You know, but I had watched The Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragons, and I had watched all the Wong Kar-wai movies. You know, so there's other movies I watched where there was some martial arts, and there were people who did that sort of thing, but I didn't watch Jackie Chan. Oh my god, I can't say about Jackie Chan. I'll say that later. But anyway, I've been watching these things. And I'm watching these John Wick 4, Chapter 4 trailer reactions. And people are funny. Like, I'm just watching some of them. Some of them are just saying what the other people said. And then other people, I'm like, where did you get that? Some of the stuff they come up with is so funny. But yeah, it's just like somebody was talking with authority about how this happened and this happened, and, you know, oh, they made Keanu Reeves do The Matrix and all this stuff, and I'm just like, I'm watching as somebody who's somewhat in the know and has been watching all these things and paying attention, because we had 2 years of pandemic. So I was watching along as movies came back into production, and I would see set photos and, you know, try to stay abreast of what was going on. And, you know, I followed Deadline and all these different things, and Variety and Hollywood Reporter, you know, on Twitter. And, you know, I don't know everything, and I'm not in the industry, but I pay somewhat these people, there's like 2 or 3 of them sitting there doing a reaction, and one's telling the other ones, oh yeah, and this happened, and this thing happened, and I'm like, they're practically speaking for Keanu Reeves, and I'm just like, yeah, they're talking with authority about stuff, and one guy was saying this person was going to be in the movie, and I'm just laughing because I'm like, these people, they don't even know they're lying, and they don't even know, they don't know what they're talking about. And I just sit there and I'm like, this world of lies. When I say I don't know, I really try to say, you know what, I don't know. You know, I could be wrong. I can't help it. It really looks lopsided now. I think it's because of that tooth. It's this one. Is it that my head's really lopsided, or is it just the tooth is making it look that way? I just don't want to make my situation worse. That's all I've been trying to do, is not make things worse. I know things are skidding to a bad situation, but I don't want to react prematurely to things and make things worse. I don't want to go down a path that's going to make my life unbearable. Because my life, to a normal person, I think my life would have been unbearable a long time ago. I've put up with so much shit. I've been through so much in the last 3 years. And it's mostly people being evil. Real, I'm not even the stuff I was talking about now, just real evil shit. You know, where it's like, you think you're going up with that behavior? I don't think so. But, so it's just, I watch these people and I'm just like, why is everybody so full of crap? No matter what anybody's talking about. If they're on Instagram and they're putting out a fake life and their selfies and look at me, their filters and all this other junk. And then you have these other people who just out and out lying and trying to get over, trying to make money. And it's like the world couldn't be more bullshit. I mean, we're to the point where if it becomes more bullshit, it's going to end up being the truth. Like, it's going to come all the way back around to being the truth. You can't lie that much without eventually coming back around. And I'm just like, but why I'm here in the middle, why I continue existing, it's really bothering me, because it's like, okay, I don't want to be dead, but I don't want to keep living this life in this world. So if there's another world I could go to where people aren't like this, there's a timeline where people didn't become this full of shit. Because they're so full of shit, they don't know they're full of shit. You know what I mean? And they're just lying to themselves first. And it's like, I can't communicate with those kind of people. I can't deal with people who, the levels of shit they're living under. You know what I mean? And it's happened so fast. It really happened. I mean, the world was crappy, but it wasn't all this bullshit that's accumulated because of what just happened in the world. And, I don't know. I can't believe that Donald Trump inspired all that. I really can't, but he did. The people who hate him just felt like they needed to lie until they just made him go away. It didn't work. Now they've got a president who they don't approve of. The guy's got like no approval rating. The world is getting into ridiculousness. Like I said, you know who is trying to do a tour of the East. And they tell her, China's like, you better not go to Taiwan. She's like, well, maybe I will. What kind of arrogance do you have to have? Say, yeah, you know, I'm not president, but I'm gonna risk this shit. Because why? Why is she even going there? I don't even know why she's going to Asia in the first place. But do you see how calm I am about it? Because you know what? Let it pop off. Let World War III start already. I don't give a fuck no more. They're doing the food shortage things. They're making our lives live in hell anyway. If it's gonna go down, go down. But I get so sad sometimes. Like, what was I watching? I was watching something that reminded me either of the 90s. And I started crying again because I'm like, I can't believe the way the world was. It's hard for me, like I can't listen to Frank Sinatra music. There's a lot of things that I can't do that take me back to like the 90s or even the early 2000s, because I remember it takes me back in such a way that I feel what it felt like to be in the time. Like my it's like I have a body memory of existing in that era. Like, say, since we're always talking about Keanu's movies, let's pretend I think about going to see The Matrix when I did. I went to Flagship Cinema, which is no longer there. Um, if I remember it clearly and I remember the day and I remember if it was raining or not or whatever, then all of a sudden I feel the feeling I had that day being there. Like, I feel like what it felt like to be in that parking lot and walk into the door. And when I have a memory like that from a much better time, the physical memory of what it felt like to be in that moment in time compared to right now is such a clash. It's such a clash between what it feels like to be alive now. This July 31st, 2022 at 10:18 p.m. What it feels like to be inside this person right now, inside this body right now, compared to what it felt like to be in the same body, let's say, July 31st, 2002. It's such a different feeling that it's almost like your body rejects it or your body wants to throw up. It's like the clash is too great between what being a human right now feels like compared to what being a human felt like. Same person, not much, living in the same place, pretty much eating the same food, more ailments in a way, but really not. So I'm fundamentally the same person in the same general location on Earth, but the feeling of existing in this moment compared to existing in the same moment 20 years ago is such a stark difference. It's like living in a different climate. It's like living in different air. It's like living in a different timeline or a different plane of existence or something where this is this is the hell version of what it feels like, because it doesn't feel the same. The air doesn't feel the same. The air is being breathed and inhaled and exhaled by way more people. And those people suck. People didn't suck as much 20 years ago. The general type of person wasn't as shitty as the general type of person is now. If you take all the humans and you take their personalities and you divide it by the number of people on Earth, you come up with whatever this shit is, and it's not good. So I fear I don't like being a fear-based person, but I've started to fear tomorrow. Because I don't want to go through what I just went through. I don't feel like it. I try to convince myself that it's going to get better. I try to fake it. I try to raise my vibration and stuff like that. But there's some things which is like, I can't lie to myself. Everybody else can lie to me. But I can't lie to myself. So when I'm going through the same shit with completely different people who are acting like the same people, or they're acting like everybody else, or I know that everybody is in this netherworld of stupidity and people are reacting in such a way to it that I'm not. That's another key thing. Like, all this stuff, war in Ukraine, all these things that have been going on that have been influencing people for a good year or so. It just rolls off my back because I'm like, this is bullshit. And I'm not being affected, and I'm not going to sit there and cry. And people may look at me and think I'm some kind of stone thing, but it's like, but because it's not really real. And I know that. So this is what I'm saying. This, where I'm coming from, is a position I should not be coming from my circumstance, from my status in the world, which is none. And that's a problem for people who can't deal with it. They turn on the news and they collapse. I turn on the news. I turn it on, though. This is the thing. I'm not the people who don't. Oh, I don't watch the news. I'm above it. I don't want that. That's all bullshit. So I don't listen to the news because well, I'm not that either. I want to know what the narrative is. I want to know what they're saying's going on. But I process it and I deal with it. I think a lot of people can't process it. And they can't deal with it. And then they see me in my situation where I got no business being confident. I'm not confident. But I got no business being better or more okay with things than they are. And it pisses them off. So this is why I'm saying, I go out in the world and like I said, I'm dealing with people who are lying. You don't have $2 on your Walgreens thing. And I'm just like, why am I still dealing with this? Like, I feel like I need to be ventriloquist. Why am I still dealing with this shit? Why am I still dealing with lying people? Why am I in the same timeline with these people? Why am I in this society with these people? If this is what society is now, why am I still here? I should have been removed because I don't belong. Because I can't get along with these people. I can't get along with them. We don't work together. We clash. I bother them. They don't help me if I need their help. They don't do anything positive. They don't put any positivity into my life, and they don't leave me alone. So I'm just like, I don't see myself getting better. I don't see myself getting healthier. I don't see myself getting better looking or thinner. I don't think my teeth are going to heal. I hope for things all the time. I would love to see a path where I could do things to affect my future. I see no paths. So I kept waiting for a path, or I try to get help to find a path. And it's the same. So I sit here, I exist in this world, I exist in this situation, I go day to day, I try to follow my intuition. My intuition just lied to me and told me to go to Walgreens just to get pissed off, tired. And I just feel like I'm here to go through another thing. I don't want to go through another thing. I'm so worried about going through the next thing and not being able to deal with it. I know there's not going to be help. I know there's not going to be a rescue. If I can't do it myself and I can't see a path, I don't understand what I'm here for, except to suffer. Why would the universe, why would a person, why would a being just be there to just go through more shit until they're dead? It just doesn't make sense to me. And I used to wrestle with that all the time. Now I'm too tired to even think about it. I don't even want to watch any more movies. I've done a bunch of reacting to things in terms of watching it and stuff like that. Like I said, this hotspot gotta go back to the library tomorrow. I thought I would today and yesterday edit together some of them, put them up. Did I know? It's not, nothing's coming to anything. It's not doing any good for me. It's wasting time just like everything else. And my life has been about wasting it, I think. I didn't think I was doing that. So I really, some days like today, yesterday maybe even, or this whole past week, I can't believe I made it through the heat. 3 weeks ago, when I looked ahead at the 5-day forecast, and it had all 90s, I was like, I'm not going to be able to live through that. Kill me now. Jesus, take me now. I don't want to do this. I can't go. I made it through all this fucking heat. And I don't know what the last 3 weeks, I couldn't tell you what happened except for all this freaking confusion and nonsense and bullshit and lies. For what am I being lied to and bullshitted and have my time wasted? I wish I was a smart person. I wish I was creative. I wish I could get myself out of this. I wish I knew how to start a business or had the ability to do something or make an invention. I'm not. I think that's the only way my life would have worked is as a young person. I found a way to be my own boss. I found a way to just be somebody who makes their own money, has their own business. I'm not that though. I just did everything wrong years and years and years ago, and because of that, I had one path and I fucked it up somewhere. And then there was never another path, another door. There was one door. And I fucked up that door. I didn't think I was fucking it up, but one day I was like, oh shit. Like, I still have comment on. And there's a commercial for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I never watched that show. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, somebody made a lot of money on these goofy things. And I watch movies and I watch things that are just so ridiculous. It's like, how could you not even be able to write a crappy movie? Not give it to anybody, not make the movie, just write one script that's stupid. I couldn't. I still can't. Like a month ago, I was like, God, just write a script in a day. Just the stupidest thing in the world. Just write some shit. I don't know why. I wish I could tell you. But I watch things sometimes and I'm like, new things that make a lot of money. Things that people worked hard on, and it's like they worked hard and they came up with that. I don't know. I don't know why I'm still here. And I've said this before, and I know I'm complaining, and I know a lot of people go through a lot of stuff, and I watch these things, and I see these things where all these people die. And I've said it before, I don't know, sometimes I just hear about somebody, like a kid drowning or something, or some stupid accident. And I'm just like, why them and not me? You know? Because sometimes it's just stupid. I can't come up with the cosmic why that they're gone. And it bothers me, and I'm like, it's stupid, because... And I can't come up with the cosmic why that I'm still here. Except to just go through more shit. And have more tragedies happen, or brand new tragedies like I've never had before. So that one day I can feel like, well, now you should have done this, and now you know what you should have done back in July of 2022. Oh, now I know. Hindsight. I don't know what to do. I haven't known what to do for most of my life. When I was younger, I used to try. I wasn't confused, though. I was just doing things, and I thought it was going to work itself out. And then it all stopped. And from there, I couldn't figure out shit. And that's been going on for like 20 years. But I did solve John Wick. I figured it out. I'm not going to say what I think. There's not even a mystery to it. But I've decided, I figured out how the whole thing makes sense. I'm not going to say. You know, I hate that though. Like, if you read speculation or something about a movie and then it turns out to be true or something, then it's like a spoiler. But yeah, I was just watching so many of these people just say all kinds of goofy shit about John Wick 4. And I was just like, I said goofy shit too, though. But I meant to be goofy. I don't know. I think we're all very weird. Sometimes there's really good things that make me happy, but the last little bit, just the last little bit, I even want to say the last couple weeks, I think things are getting gross. Things are getting dirty. Maybe it's because it's summer and it's hot, but I really just feel like, not a dumpster fire, but just a dumpster, you know, it smells rotten, and you know that there's just even the good people, like the nice people I watch in the reaction videos and stuff, I feel like you're starting to see the effects of the world and the economy and all this shit on people, you know, and it's not fair, because a lot of people, like, you can hate me or whatever and think I'm a lazy person, but like I said, a lot of people have been working hard a long time and they got screwed over for nothing. There's people who, didn't a lot of people get messed up by Bitcoin? Did they even talk about that anymore? I don't know, because I never bought it. But isn't there a lot of shit with that? I mean, I feel like on top of all the bullshit that comes through the television, there's all this stuff they're not telling us about. I love it when Godzilla runs. I mean, this is old stuff when he runs and it's like... I liked this stuff, the old Godzilla movies. I used to watch, I mean, I liked them. Now I don't have the wherewithal to sit there and watch it. But I used to like this shit. Destroy All Monsters was the one I liked, because it had all of them. I've gone to the newer ones. I saw the last one. I thought the plot is so stupid. It's like, why is the plot? The acting's bad in them, and there's good actors in them, and it's like, why though? This shit was perfect. Cardboard and construction paper, and it was like a fan. Like, I got over here blowing shit around. Perfect. Awesome. Let me see. Let's listen to them so you think I'm not crazy. See, it's Mecha Godzilla's. He just fell over. Oh, that's the other one. That's not Mecha Godzilla. That's Oh, that's Mecha Godzilla. Who's that? Wait, is this Destroyer Monsters? Wait. I just realized, wait, there's 3 monsters. Oh, Terror of Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, who's the other one? Is it, I know that one. Who's the other monster? Ghidorah! Is that it? I liked Mothra. There was a point in time, I'm going to tell you something you should know. There was a point in time one of my screen names was Mon Mothra. Nightly Net. Back in the day. That's where I used to talk to other people. This is where I learned to argue and fight on the internet. That's where I learned about the new blue wave. Fight though. You totally punched. See, I'm sorry. I love this fight choreography more than a lot of movies. But yeah, so I saw John Wick. The number of people who pretended like they were in love with Donnie Yen, though, that really cracks me up. And they all do it. Oh, holy shit, Donnie Yen, oh my god. And they every single one of them is like, I don't know who that is. Oh, there was one, like I said, these people who were, I watched a few of them in like Hindi or whatever. I watched the Russian one. I'm like, I'm watching it in foreign languages. This is sad. You gotta find like a real life. I won't. But, remember Mecha Streisand on South Park? Somebody on one of them did say that they thought that Wesley Snipes was supposed to be in it. I was like, was he? Because that would have been cool. Because they're all like, blade people. Like, you know, swords and stuff. But I was wondering if maybe he was supposed to play Red Eyes guy. Which would make me a racist if I assumed that's the part he was supposed to play. I think that's Ghidorah. Just bit his nose. He bit Godzilla's nose and he's punching him. But yeah, so I don't know. My brain's scrambled eggs, and I tried to cancel this appointment for tomorrow. I don't want to go. I want to do the other stuff I gotta do instead. I don't know what to do because I'm not trying to be a jerk or not get the help. I need the help, but what am I supposed to do? It's bad timing because I need to do stuff tomorrow. And if I could change it, I don't know. These people make me feel like I'm being unreasonable. And it's like, no, this is the way the world was before. We're all supposed to be desperate now or something. I don't know. But the way the world was before, if you couldn't make an appointment, you changed it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, I guess you don't want the help then. Everybody's like that now. This is what I'm saying. It's like, oh, I guess you, oh, well, you don't want to apply for this job. Well, I guess you just don't want to look for jobs. And it's like, no. I'm explaining why I don't think they're going to hire me anyway. And I don't want to go through the crap of giving you my password to apply for a job I'm not going to end up getting anyway. So what should I have said? Should I have said, hey lady, get your goddamn hands off my password? I'm trying not to be like that. I try not to tell people exactly who they are, because if I did, I get stabbed in no time. I get stabbed, I get murdered. They would just, their brains might explode right in front of me if I told them who they actually were. I mean, I could do that. I could go around, I could walk around exploding brains all day if I felt like it. I could see through all you. I know who you are deep down. I know your dirty secrets. I could tell you like that. I'm claircognizant, okay? I know what you did last summer and the summer before that and the summer before that. I know what a foul beast you are on the inside. I will tell you. No. See, I don't tell people. Unless the universe really wants me to start doing that. Like I said, and I think half an hour later I will be dead. I will be stabbed to death. Self-preservation, it makes me not tell people exactly who they are, but I could do it. They can insult me all day long. I'll take it on the chin. I'm not going to return the favor. Because it's unseemly, number one. And number two, I don't want to get stabbed. But I know. Sometimes I don't know. Like, I don't know what that confusion was about. Like, why she just hung on to it like that. Because I kept trying to clarify and she wouldn't let me clarify. You know what I mean? She kept trying to take what I was saying and turn it into something else that didn't make sense. And I can't for life of me tell you what was going on in her head. Really. I can guesstimate and be wrong. But apart from her just mentally getting stuck because I did not want to give her my school spring password, which is crazy to me that that would even happen if that's what it is. I can't come up with another reason for why it just stayed in this, like, you know what it's like when it's like standby, or back in the old days, I guess it could still happen, where you be watching a TV show and they say please stand by, and it'd be like gray and it'd have like that thing and it would just stay like that for a while because there was some kind of technical difficulties. This was like technical difficulties, like just stand by for like 45 minutes, and I kept trying to reset it and be like, this, I don't understand what the problem is. I don't understand why we're having a problem. I kept saying, I don't understand what went wrong. I kept saying that over and over and over again, you know. It was like somebody trying to have a miscommunication problem. I don't know what it is. I still, to this, like, I stopped thinking about it. Now I'm thinking about it again because I'm talking about it. I don't understand what that is. Like, why would you sit there and, like, stay in a bad energy and a bad vibe? You know what I mean? Because you're the one in charge of the meeting. I mean, to me, if I was in charge of that meeting, right? If I was the person who somebody was coming to for help, I'd be like, okay, you know what? We're not really getting anywhere. It's been an hour. Let's just come back next week and, you know, something like that. That's not what it was like. Let's stay in this bad energy. Let's stay in this bad vibe. Let's stay in this miscommunication, which really isn't. Let's stay in this confusion and keep doubling down on the confusion. You try to reiterate yourself and I'll keep not understanding it, or I'll keep pretending you're saying something else. I don't know what for. Because it seemed, you know, like, okay, let's say, you know, in Twin Peaks when they were trying to purposely stall the chess game. It was like that. Like, I don't know why you would purposely try to stall the chess game in that situation. This wasn't a chess game. Like, what was the word though? Stalemate. Stalemate. Why try to have a stalemate and keep it? It was just strange because we weren't supposed to be competitive. It wasn't supposed to be a stalemate type situation. That's why I just kept going, I don't understand. I was literally going like this. I don't understand what happened. I don't understand the confusion. What's the problem? I was literally doing that. And so when I leave that, I sit here with the universe and I say, why do you put me with people I'm not compatible with? Why do you keep mixing me up with cancers? Why do you keep putting me just in situations where I don't belong? What are you doing this for? Except to just have me struggle where there shouldn't be struggle. You know, I don't understand what I did or what I continue to do, or whatever the situation is, where it's just like, no, where the universe is going to match you up with the completely wrong people all the time, and we're going to have you in the wrong place all the time. We're going to have you in the wrong weather you can't handle, We're going to have you eating food that makes you break out or whatever. We're going to keep you having all the wrong stuff and wrong people and wrong times and wrong stuff that's just not good for you. We're going to fill you up on that. I don't understand it. I'm going to shut up now. But yeah, I solved John Wick. I just wish that movie was out. I need to see something good. I know Bullet Train's coming out next week, but Nope is out this week. These are movies I would have seen under any kind of normal circumstances, but right now I don't even want to talk about tomorrow, because beyond this isn't even that big a deal. All kinds of horrible shit could happen to me. That I'm focused on something what I think is minuscule, or what I think should be just basic, that I have to spend time on something so basic, or it becomes this confusing question that sits on my head. It's like, this shouldn't be this big of a deal, but it's like, you know what I mean? I honestly don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I've watched 1,000,001 pick a card readings. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And my intuition tells me to do the wrong thing and waste energy too. I'm just like, I really don't know. I watch movies about the olden times every once in a while. Like, go see something like a really long time ago, and people with arranged marriages and how it's supposed to suck, or like, you know, or what was that when I watched that time? Tony Leung was in it, and they were like, sort of like geishas and stuff. What the hell was it? Flower something? Anyway. And I was like, oh man, wasn't it better then? I do. I think it was better before. Like, sometimes, I shouldn't even say it, but yeah, let me not say it. But sometimes there's really bad situations from 100 years ago, 200 years ago. And it was supposed to be so awful. Like, your parents trade you for a goat. It's like, was that bad? You had a family, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay, there's all the rape, but people still get raped. People still have transactional sex and they marry the wrong people. At least there was some foundation and structure. I don't know. I feel like I belong in this time. I belong in the Godzilla movie. You know, I belonged in the 80s. I belonged in the 90s. I felt okay in the, what they call it, the aughts, you know, the 2000s. But I really don't fit anymore, and I'm just tired of hanging on, but I don't want to die either. I just don't want to keep living this shitty life in this ever-increasingly shitty world. Because at least before it was my life, the world was only kind of a little bit shitty. Now it's complete garbage. And artificial garbage. It's the NutraSweet caca life that we're all living now. And I'm like, that's why it's like, I think about people who have money and stuff like that. I was like, does it help? Like, watching Ben, and I'm really happy they got back together again. But I'm like, they got back together in this crappy world. They're over there in Paris, and I'm like, doing their honeymoon, and then he's got to come be Batman again. I'm like, I thought he wasn't being Batman. It just seems like nobody gets to do what they want to be doing, even if you're them. I don't know. He still doesn't look happy. I was happy for him that he got away from the other one who was making him look miserable all the time. Now he still kind of looks a little bit miserable, and I'm like, I just want people to be happy, and I don't think anybody can be happy right now. That's how bad things are. I don't think anybody can be happy right now in the world that we're in. You can have happy moments. I have happy moments, which is fucking ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. I think some people see me, and they see me with a relatively content look on my face, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Her life is way worse than mine. What the fuck's she walking around? Does she know there's a war in the Ukraine? You know what I mean? I think just my demeanor of not being like as crazy as they are pisses people off more and more. And I'm just like, I don't want to be around them, but you can't be isolated. I really don't know what to think. I don't even know what to do right now in this moment. Should I stop this stream or should I not stop this stream? Should I keep talking to myself? I'm only talking to myself. Again, notes from the underground. This is what it ended up being. Just some whiny bitch complaining about the world and life. Other people appear to be happy, but I'm like, how can they be? They're in the economy too. They're going through this shit too. I feel like the people who look like they're happy are faking it. I really do. I think they're lying the most. The people who are going around looking like they're happy and they're, I don't know, they're getting married and, well, not Ben and Jen, but you know what I mean, normal people trying to still do normal life. I'm like, how are you doing that? I mean, there are other times on Earth where there are crises and people were still getting married, but this is just kind of like, I can't. Can't sort of fit it. Alright, I don't want to feel this way, and this feeling is just like I should be dead already, but I feel like I'm being made to hang on just to go through enough shit that I end up being a person who goes to hell. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm not saying I'm wonderful and I'm going up, but it feels like I need to be changed for the worse before I die. Like I need to become full of haterade and do evil dastardly things to try to survive and then die, so that I will have committed enough crimes to be a piece of shit when I die, instead of just regular average garbage like I am now. You know what I mean? Be actually somebody who got a rap sheet and is just not a good person at all. The only person talking to me is Duolingo. While I've been talking to you, Duolingo sent me like 3 things telling me my streak's gonna end and I'm gonna be fucked up. Alright, so this is almost 2 hours. I can't believe I talked for that long either. I've never done that before, but I feel, well, you can't say that word. I feel out of sorts, misplaced, unstuck in time, in the 4th dimension. Remember Little Girl Lost, which is kind of the same thing as Poltergeist? Either way, she ends up stuck in either in the wall or in the TV, right? Wherever the hell she went. That's what I feel like. Like I said before, the Langoliers, I only ever watched the TV miniseries. I don't know if they did a remake or anything. I don't read books. But the Langoliers, they ended up in this slight past. So the past hadn't gone away yet, but they were stuck in it. And they had to get back to the present. I feel like I'm in that, like, past, okay, that stale, I've said that for a while, like that stale past where there's no fizz in the soda and stuff. I have no idea what to do about it. I've been hanging on and trying to wait until a path appeared, and it hasn't, and time's running out. And I'm just like, I did everything I could, all these little things, these helps I was trying to get, like from this woman. That was me trying. And I don't know if people think I'm not trying hard enough because they won't say it directly to my face. But then they'll try to say I'm doing something I'm not doing. And it's like, I'm not doing that. So, what do you do? I don't know anymore. I'm sure it's me and I can't see it. But if you can't see it, you can't see it. But I just don't know. I just don't know. I've got these questions on my head blocking all the other questions that I need to answer, but I'm not doing it. So how can I figure out the mystery of John Wick? And I can't figure out just what to do with my own life, except what has to be done on a day-to-day basis. And I haven't been able to do that for years. I kept looking for a path, not finding one. Even if it's the wrong path, I'm not finding any path. No good one, no bad one. There's nothing. Anyways, let me shut up